Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group will present a mini research entitled A Mini Research on Shariah Compliance Implementation Sukma 2018 Handball Sport Event Management. Our group consists of 3 members. First, Karunisa binti Muhammad Noor. Second, Fatini binti Shamlin. And third, myself, Sofiah binti Zaid.
Before we go further, we will look briefly on what is sport, Islam views on sport, and the meaning of Sukma and the handball game. Sport is a worldwide phenomenon that is practiced by people of many races and nations. Sport is also one aspect of leisure activity, and Islam encourages its followers to participate in sport and physical activities to have a strong and healthy body without delaying worship life. Moreover, Sukma Malaysia Sukma is a biennial youth sport festival organized by the National Sport Council of Malaysia in collaboration with the Malaysian Olympic Council, the National Sport Association, and the state government. Furthermore, the handball game is a game that originated in European countries, namely Denmark, Germany, Czechoslovakia, and korfball. The problem statement of this research is the Shariah compliance is not mandatory for all athletes, but was hoped it would become a trend at the national level.
In this research, there are 3 research objectives that we would like to achieve. The first one is to identify which instruments in the Sukma 2018 handball games that are Shariah compliant. Number 2 is to investigate which of the instruments in the Sukma 2018 handball games that do not Shariah compliant. And the third one is to propose suggestions for improvement into Sukma handball games so that it fully complies with the Shariah guidelines. Now, let's move on to the research methodology. In this study, we have been using qualitative research method. For the primary data, we have been observed the sports tournament video, which is Sukma 2018 handball games for both men and also women, to gain data for the study. Next, for the secondary data, we have been using some journals, articles, government documents, newspapers, and also universities' publications to collect and also analyze our data that related to this topic of the study. And for the sampling, we have been choosing the Sukma 2018 handball games athletes and also sport event management as our sample for this study.
Next is the analysis and discussion. In this study, the data was scrutinized and adapted from the authentic documents related to the topic. The videos from the Sukma 2018 handball tournament for men semi-final and for women final was observed to examine and analyze the data based on the objective of the study. The analysis and discussion are divided into 4 subtopics. The first one is the condition of the sport attire used by the athlete. The aspects of observation are divided into 2 categories for both team, men and a woman. For Muslim, the sport attire conditions can be recognized as Shariah compliance as it covered the aura, loose, polite, has security features, and suitable for the sport. Meanwhile, the non-Muslim athletes wore sport attire modestly as it was not excessively tight, not too short, has security features, hair tied neatly, and not too sparse. The table 1 shows the checklist for sport attire conditions used by the athletes.
Now, we proceed to the analysis of the condition and the environment of the sport venue. From the table given, it is shown that there are 3 aspects of analysis that has been studied throughout the study. The first one is the handball court. As you can see, for both Sukma 2018 handball tournament for men and women, the handball court was suitable to use as it is clean and safe condition. The line border in the court was also visible to see, and there are adequate amount of sports equipment. Next is the spectators area, as it is sufficient for them to use it, and the spectators area was also designated with a safe distance from the handball court, and barriers was also provided for them for their own safety. And lastly is designated area for the judges, coaches, and reserve player, as it is located outside from the handball court and it is in a safe distance for their own safety. We move forward to the organization of the sport event. From what has been analysed, we found out that the schedule of the event was proper and the time management is suitable for all parties involved. The period for each games was following the standard guidelines. Next, the number of referees provided was also adequate and the appointed referee was very professional. And lastly, for the sport venue usage management, there are different times provided to conduct games for different gender.
The next analysis is the responsibilities taken by the organizer of the sports event. The aspects of observation are the behavior of athletes and audience, the sports venue, the separation of spectator seating, and the environment of sports venue. Based on the observation on the video of both categories of handball matches, the organizer have ensured that match area must be in a clean condition. This can be seen through the video that the match and audience area in the good condition and clean. Next, during women's category handball match, the men's category handball match was not held in the same venue. So, this handball match using a system of rotation according to the schedule. However, from the researchers' observation, the organizer did not control the audience behavior, such as excessive shouting for a woman. Other than that, the organizer also did not separate seats for male and female audience.
For conclusion, the purpose of this study is to determine which instruments in handball sport in Sukma Game 2018 that complies and not complies with the Shariah. In this analysis, the researchers are able to determine that the Sukma 2018 handball sport satisfied practically all the Shariah compliance requirements, with just a few aspects that needed to be rectified.
We would like to clarify the limitation of the study and for future research, as this research only analysed the final and semi-final video of Sukma 2018 handball tournament. Other than that, the guidelines that has been referred to in this study was limited to Terengganu and Jakim's guidelines, as other guidelines cannot be accessed. Nevertheless, we hope that this research could be a reference for future research in a related field.
For suggestion, the researchers suggest that the sports event manager, including the organizer, the contingent participated, and all parties involved in the sports event could follow and fully comply with the sports guideline that have been established by the Islamic law, or another parties had published the sports guideline according to their Islamic rules and regulation. Besides, in the opinion of the researcher, before starting the match, the organizers should separate the spectator seats based on the gender. Other than that, the organizers also must control all the interaction and behavior of the spectators in supporting their team.
So that's all from us. We are very sorry for any inconvenience happened during this presentation, and thank you for listening.